Alright, call this meeting to order, February 16th, 2018 at 3:31. Secretary Gresham, can you please do the roll call?
President Kangan. Here. Vice President Najjar. Treasurer Stevens.
Here.
Speaker Kaskidi.
Here.
Senator Bastola.
Present.
Senator Bernard.
Here.
Senator Fink.
Here.
Senator Husnick.
Here.
Senator Ida.
Here.
Senator McNamee.
Here.
Senator Mihalcia.
Here.
Senator Tolbert. Senator Douse.
Here.
Senator Hound. Senator Martis.
Here.
Senator Shaheen.
Here.
Senator Hannah.
Here.
Senator Emery.
Here.
Senator Casey. Senator Schultz. Senator Arrow.
Here.
Senator Isafano. Senator Ballas.
Here.
Senator Mumba.
Here.
Dr. Kelman. Here. Dr. Spangros. Here. Dr. Tirabassi. Dr. Betterson. Here. Director Moon. Senator Betterson.
Here.
Senator Pritka.
Here.
Senator Advisor Tiefling. Advisor Olszewski.
Here.
Advisor Woodside.
Here. Okay. I'd like to open the floor to any discussion. Any announcements? No? Here.
So I'll make a quick announcement to everybody. Next Thursday, there's going to be an event in the Urban College. It's called Wealth Building in Our Communities. It's going to be from 7:30 a.m. until 2:30 p.m. Dean England's assistant has specifically reached out to me and asked if any SGA senators would be willing to come and help during any one of those hours. So if you guys are interested, please let me know at the end of the meeting and I will get your names to for this event. And I'll give you some more information and email to the
Last one, Wednesday and Thursday next week. I believe it starts around 1 o'clock. There will be like the big internship job fair for career services, so make sure you get out to that. Other than that, let's move on to old business. Can I get a motion to ratify the meeting minutes from February 2nd? Senator Ismail.
I move to ratify the meeting minutes from the February 2nd.
Senator Fink, second. Okay. Any discussion, any objection? Hearing none, motion passes. Over that. All right. Moving on to new business. Really the biggest thing today is the state of the SGA, so I'd like to bring up President Kane to give what I'm sure will be a great address.
I feel like all of my executive board updates have been preparing me for this moment where I can actually speak longer than 5 minutes. So I'm very excited about this. So, preparing for the task of standing in front of the student body, fellow leaders, faculty, staff, and administration to address the work that has been done and the endless list of what can be done was definitely an unnerving process. I was thereby advised by my fellow colleagues to start by watching the last State of the Union address for tips, but I didn't have time for that, so thankfully we're not going to go down that route, but you guys are all more than welcome to clap. So I began instead by revisiting the platform that our executive board collectively penned as the party's student-serving students. We faced the daunting task of representing 17,000 students and their better interests. I found it striking to know, though, that protecting our diversity, our safety, working with the police department, academics, opportunities, collaboration, they were all at the forefront of what we wanted our peers to understand would be integral to our mission when we took office. Today, I want to touch on just how much student government has followed through on those initiatives and how we really hit home in those efforts. But before going any further, I want to recognize some very important individuals in this room. I think we can all attest to the fact that this has been a very trying year full of transition and change, and though it has been trying, it has also been rewarding. Regardless, an immeasurable amount of manpower was required to unite in ways we haven't before. Our fantastic advisors were just as new to the job as the rest of us, but they gave us their weekly time and they helped strengthen our internal unity as well as professionalism in our work ethics. Thank you for your mentorship, your diplomacy, and your share in helping us as leaders. Beginning without recognizing all of you would have been a disservice to SGA. So thank you for providing a solid foundation for us to utilize and build upon. And hopefully, especially right before retirement, Dr. Woodside, so we really appreciate that. So from the get-go, we as SGA wanted to shape ourselves as a body that was versatile and an inclusive source of collaboration. This began with conversations involving our organizations, our big three organizations on campus. Campus Activities Board, Viking Expeditions, and the 1964 Society. We are so pleased to have come together more than we ever have in the past. They're meant to be in this room, so I know they're here in spirit too because they're all very busy organizations. Together, we've seen the success of two major collaborations, the hurricane relief effort as well as the women's shelter donations. We were able to raise close to $1,000, and with several items from donations also going to locations across the country. So thank you for your aid in helping share CSU's name in the national spotlight. Together, by asking student orgs, Greek life, and community partners to come together, we were able to encourage our constituents to also invest in our mission and our movement. In making these calculated collaborations, SGA set the tone for joining the conversation on inclusion and cementing the traditions for longevity that we all hope to see in our individual pursuits and missions. Being able to do this in a way that was more effective in promoting multiple agendas was key. So thank you to our collaborators, and seeing you all in the room where SGA spends countless hours or cheering on our events from the sidelines has been a wonderful experience where we were able to help engage the student body together. We've also been working specifically very closely with Campus Activities Board, as well as our faculty in the psychology department, to design surveys to measure student involvement, SGA engagement, as well as feedback on dining, residence life, and general improvements that the student body is interested in. Our Director of Student Affairs was integral in helping facilitate the most credible source of information by repeatedly being at the forefront of tabling interactions as well as focus groups. We're excited to present those to you soon, and we're looking forward to this being a tradition where we can use direct bias-free data to help our administration as well as to set up future administrations with solid starting blocks. So to start and highlight a few of our initiatives, I'll start with our cabinet and our team of student affairs led by Director Gabby Svenkros. Gabby has been a 4-year member of SGA, and she's crucial in team unity as well as stretching the bill for new initiatives. Aside from spearheading surveys, Gabby has also been monumental in making sure our administration received bystander training when we assumed our positions at the annual SGA retreats. Gabby is also taking the additional feedback from her focus groups to explore our dining contract as well as possibilities for students to participate in sustainability efforts through a possible food network to eliminate even the smallest amount of waste produced at CSU. Our newest and youngest recruit in the cabinet was Director Maria Tirabassi. She's not here today, so I'll just speak on Maria. Maria has been exploring better ways to frame existing academic services and their policies, as well as our newest projects, which include underclassmen reaping the benefits of career services as soon as possible and bridging the gap between students and faculty through university curriculum. Other key players made sure that the ideas that have been bubbling for years in SGA finally saw some light. In marketing, Director Melissa Moon has built our following on social media platforms across the board and is currently releasing our new website, which builds off the information that we already have on OrgSync. But it's a beautiful website, so look forward to that very soon. Treasurer Kyle Stevens, in conjunction with the Finance Committee, has made our funding process the easiest it has been in years. We truly have been able to define how we have said for multiple years in the past what a streamlined process can look like. So this starts with funding with the ease of communication, deliberations, and Kyle will actually be reporting on the reconciliation process later in the Senate meeting. I now look towards the Senate, our largest and closest bridge to our students. Senators this year have been led under the watchful eyes of Speaker Cameron Caputi and Director Erica Betterson. Speaker Caputi is a true guide in making sure that he assists in the brainstorming process for each and every one of our senators' projects. To highlight just a few, I'll begin with Senator Matt Martis. Matt has been working on a collaboration with the engineering students in the Go Baby Go program, which aids disabled children in developing motor skills. Engineering students who participate are able to gain experience in modifying these toy simulations and assist in furthering our community base. Senator Riley McNamee is currently working with Councilman Bashir Jones in making sure road safety around campus is handled promptly and effectively. Senator Marty Bernard, there he is, has played a versatile role in the establishment and future endeavors offered by the film school. Marty continues to be committed to the projects he started and established in his first year as SGA senator and contributes in recycling and sustainability efforts. Senator Danielle Mihalchuk has been persevering in her efforts to display art created by Vikings in a centralized location as a node to our diversity and inclusion message. Senator Franklin Euro too saw through a successful project by helping fund graduate and undergraduate students opportunities to attend the Cleveland Winter Edition Career Fair. This group of students were also featured on a segment run by News Channel 20. Thank you, senators, and for highlighting the best work that the Senate and our students are able to come up with. SGA in the spotlight of news media has also been a commonality. Be it for our stances on House bills, projects, or campus safety initiatives, our administration has used every bit of the opportunity to promote Cleveland State as the center for innovation, open conversations, and limitless possibility. With the growth that Cleveland State sees on an annual basis, it is my hope that future generations of Viking leadership are able to capitalize each year and succeed exponentially. In the next decade, I hope to see these leaders be strategic in their initiatives while moving in a cohesive manner to never leave behind those who are anchored by our CSU presence. I am humbled to serve as a leader at this institution. So to close, I'll address my colleagues in specific. To my executive board members, you prioritized SGA from the moment we took office and willingly sacrificed your time when there was no incentive attached. Thank you for the selflessness you display in your roles and for stepping up when each of us had a little too much on our plates. Our cabinet members, opening up as many positions as we did this year was an easy task because you reminded us of the untapped skill and passion housed at our fingertips. Thank you for being there on the forefront of making moves, advising, and being our eyes and ears. To the Senate, I am looking at faces that for the majority have been with us for a year or two, and I see the future of SGA leadership. Your fresh perspectives, mindsets, and conviction keep our mission to student service relevant. I wish you all the best of luck and only continuous success. We're getting towards that home stretch, so let's make it count, SGA. Thank you. I'd also like to thank everyone that walked in just as I was speaking. I really appreciate the support from faculty and administration. It's been a joy to present at Faculty Senate, to see you guys in meetings. University committee meetings are my favorite these days. So thank you again for your support, and I really appreciate the amount of work that everyone does behind the scenes that does go unrecognized sometimes. So thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Up next, I know it's not on our agenda, but that concludes at least the state of the SGA portion. We're going to have a treasurer update from Treasurer Kyle Stevens.
All right, thank you guys. So, to the senators, we've, over the past couple weeks, our funding and financing has taken pretty much a priority to us. So I've been working pretty much nonstop to get you guys the most up-to-date numbers as far as all this, so that we know exactly how things are going. So if you see over on the right-hand side, I've added an expenditures column to our budget. So far we've allocated $118,000, but that's not actually what's been spent by student organizations. So I went back, looked at what was actually spent. So if an organization was allocated $2,000, they might have spent $1,800 or something like that. So we get those $200 back. So as you can see, I still have a lot of work to do, because as you can see, student organizations have only spent about maybe 25% of what we've allocated. So it's kind of, I have to go and see, what's wrong with student organizations. A lot of them we funded and either they didn't happen, or something went wrong or something like that. So I'm working with them to see, what we can do in the future to make sure that, this money gets spent well and that we have a lot of good events on campus. So our new total, I don't know if you guys remember, but before reconciling, our balance was hovering right at $100,000. And with so far what I've gathered, we have around $180,000. So we still have a lot in our budget. I am looking towards the end of the year, so whatever it goes unspent by student organizations or by us, what we might be able to do with that money, to give it back to the students by the end of the year. Does anybody have any questions on this new budget? Yes. Yes.
Question for context.
Yes.
So you said about 25% of the money we allocated was spent. Do you know what that looked like last year? Is this a figure that our newer senators should be comfortable with, or should we be asking what's going wrong in terms of how student board leaders are spending this money?
I can't give you exact details on last year because it was kind of different. I kind of created this whole budgeting method, and it was kind of different last year. I know you might have heard me say that we had about 80,000 or close to 90,000 left in our budget last year. So it is kind of common that we try and allocate as much, and if a student org doesn't spend it, then that's unfortunate. But obviously, we want to give out as much money as possible. So yeah, it's just something we want to avoid, but we'll do our best to avoid it.
Any other questions? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move on to the SAB update from Secretary Rich.
Yeah, so, SAB appointed Senator Shaheen, Senator Ida, and Senator Tolbert to the Finance Committee. It was motion and seconded in committee, so any objections or anything like that?
Any discussion? Okay. Hearing none. That's
Fine.
right. Okay. Is that all for you, Secretary Rich? Okay. So that means that at 3:48 on February 16th, 2018, this meeting is adjourned. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Okay. Any second? Okay. Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, get out of here.
Fast is probably 80% of exactly. I mean, we definitely have facilities we try to get together once a quarter. do the always problem is kind of that space. I think the ways to have more students in the ballroom.